Hey guys, Dante here, back with another video, which honestly I didn't want to do. I really didn't want to do this video. I didn't want to record this, but I am sick and tired of people that are delusional about POE 1 and POE 2. And I'm talking about the people that are glazing GGG above and beyond. What I mean by this, there are a lot of people when this post came out that you see right here that announces the delay of POE 1 by a, let's say, indefinite amount of time because they don't know when it's going to be released, probably in the summer or something. There are people that commented like, oh, thank you for the transparency, thank you for this, thank you for that. And I am just tired of seeing those people. GGG is very much aware of what they're getting themselves into. GGG is aware of the decisions they made and the outcomes of that, right? They knew pulling people away from POE 1 will cancel POE 1's league cycle, and it did. They knew that not allocating enough people to POE 1 will halt development like it does. It's not rocket science. Imagine this. Imagine you're a construction worker, right? You got a team of 100 people, and you got to build a skyscraper or something. And all of a sudden, you take those 100 people, or 99 people, or 90 people out of those 100, and make them dig a hole somewhere. Like what? You expect the one person that's left, or 10 people that's left, to build a skyscraper? That's not how it works. Apply this to your regular job, like I do to mine. If I take 20 people out of my team, who's gonna work? How's shit gonna get done? They knew this. This was a conscious decision made by them to cancel development for POE 1. Well, not cancel, but put it on hiatus for an indefinite amount of time so they can get POE 2 out. Okay? That's it. Stop glazing. Stop praising them for their transparency. They didn't do this because of anything except pressure. They saw the state of the Reddit, they saw the state of the comment section, they saw the state of the player base, they saw the state of the trolling and memes that are being done on their behalf for lacking a response about POE 1. So let's get into the video.
Now, when we announced POE 2, we promised that we would continue to create POE 1 expansions.
And that promise
we
failed.
do intend to keep that promise.
Okay.
But it's certainly been a lot harder
I'll
to
believe it when I
deliver
see it.
than what we expected. Now, the trouble really started after Settlers of Calgar in July last year.
Okay, this is the thing that I try to implicate myself in, right? I try to apply this logic to my day-to-day job. You got one team working on one project, and then you want a second project, but you only still got one team. How? How are you gonna get two projects done with one team? You know what I mean?
The ideal time to have released 326 would have been late October, before the originally scheduled release of POE 2's early access. But we just didn't think we could do it. It was too close to the huge circus that was the organization around POE 2's launch.
Again, this sounds like a bad time management issue. They mismanaged their time, they mismanaged their resources, they mismanaged everything. Okay? It's not our fault, it's not the player base's fault, it's not anybody else's fault except their fault. Okay? That's it. Plain and simple. I would like to point out that GGG is a multi-million-dollar company owned by a multi-billion-dollar company. You know, Tencent. Okay? Let's move on.
But we also didn't want to immediately launch it right after POE 2 either, so that kind of ruled out December. So then we're thinking, okay, we can't really have a launch in January due to Christmas, so we're really going to have to do it in February. And this wasn't great. It would mean 7 months with no leagues. But we really didn't think it was possible to do it any earlier than that. And we didn't really announce this exactly, but it was certainly something that we had said to quite a few people over time, so the community became generally aware that that was our plan.
Again, mismanagement, a poor lack of communication, and then they still get praised for like, oh, thank you for the transparency and blah, blah, blah. What transparency? Transparency means nothing when it's tethered to like avoidable mistakes. This could have been avoided. Everything of this could have been avoided if they managed their resources and time better, in my opinion.
The issue is this. POE 2's endgame needed a lot of work. Having the guys on the POE 1 team help out for 3 months on POE 2, given that 326 was 7 months away, seemed like a no-brainer, and man did POE 2 need it. The problem is we got to the middle of October, and POE 2's launch was imminent, and I'll tell you what, taking people off POE 2 at that point was just impossible. The
Why?
endgame was not in a shippable state.
Okay, so when they announced POE 2, they said that they made the endgame up in, what, like a month or something? 2 months of work? Which you can obviously tell the maps are shit, the crafting is shit, the endgame is shit. Like, just think about it, like Ben said, like checkpoints and maps. That should have been a major red flag. The layouts are shit. The layouts are bad, the maps are bad, the atlas is like mediocre at best. I get it. It was put together in a short period of time. Their fault. They didn't prioritize the things that they needed. They didn't manage their time properly. Okay? That's what I understand from what he's saying.
You know what? We could still do it. If the POE 1 team just kept helping until POE 2 shipped in late November, we could still do it. Maybe the scope would need to decrease a little bit, but mid-February was still possible. We just needed to ship
Mid-February, sure.
first, get
Okay.
it out of the way. We literally couldn't think about anything else until it was done, but we still had time. The problem is, we were fooling ourselves. POE 2 was delayed 3 weeks, making the problem even worse. And then after the game was released, well, of course, we had to immediately deal with all the problems.
When POE 2 was delayed, I had no issue with it. I understand. I had hopes that it was worth it. And I don't know if it was. Like, the game is playable and it's good. But, like I said, it has issues out of the wazoo. Okay?
Problems. How could we think about making a POE 1 expansion when we still have hundreds of thousands of people who are having bad experiences in POE 2?
Move 20 devs from POE 2 to POE 1. 15 devs. Like they said in a previous interview, like a few months ago, they said like the Settlers or whatever league was made by like 10 devs. Or like 20 devs, or I don't remember. Why can't you just do that? Why do you just gotta keep lifting POE 2 on a pedestal when it's barely skin and bones?
There are crashes, there are severe in-game balance problems. How could I justify taking some of the most experienced developers we have off POE 2 when it's on fire?
Don't take the most experienced developers, just take the middle guys, the not the creme de la creme, the middle guys. Make them do like, yo, think of a league that makes you spawn monsters in maps. Shocking. Do a giant league circle like Ritual or something. I don't know, do something.
Fire. Now, after the Christmas break, we had to really admit something to ourselves. The most urgent priority was getting POE 2 to a point where it didn't have major issues. And it's hard to even think about what POE 1 needs when POE 2 has really obvious problems that need fixing. We needed to get it to the point of stability and balance.
Okay, another issue. POE 2 will never not have major issues. Never. In the next 1 to 3 years, POE 2 will always have major issues. Just think about it. Maps are shit. The Atlas is skin and bones. It's nothing. You got nodes that give you more loot on the Atlas tree. That's it. Nothing else. Crafting doesn't exist. Identifying an item and just slapping 2 chaos orbs or 2 exotic orbs on it is not crafting. It's shit. Essences are garbage, useless, worthless. Omens are a band-aid. They're trash. It's not fun. Okay? Like, so you got your end game, which is dog shit. You got crafting, which is dog shit. You got they still need to do acts. Act 4, 5, 6. You think when those are gonna release there are not gonna be issues? Holy. So that's what I said, like POE 2 is gonna have major issues for the foreseeing like 1 to 3 years.
And to fix the most severe deficiencies that POE 2 has before we can take our eyes off it. So what does that mean? Well, it means that we can't really work on POE 1 326 until POE 2 0.2.0 has shipped.
So this means that POE 1 is in indefinite hiatus until POE 2 0.2.0 or whatever is shipped. We don't have an ETA for that. Remember, So probably like February, March, when PoE 0.2.0 is gonna be released. Let's say March, okay? Early March. And then they're gonna keep the devs along for a ride for another like a month. That goes into April. And then they're gonna start working on 3.26. So let's give it another month. That's May, right? In May, they're probably gonna announce 3.26, which is gonna launch probably in June. Does that sound normal to you? Does that sound like a good time management? Does that sound like a good resource allocation to you? I don't know.
And then being honest, we probably need to support that for a couple of weeks after that as well.
Of course.
Now, in the meantime,
gonna
we
be a
are going to
shit
get a
fest.
bunch of pre-production done on 326 with whatever people who are not needed to fix issues with PoE 2. And once 020 is sorted, I promise we will devote as many resources as are needed from our company to get 326 done as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I just can't promise a date right now.
Indefinitely.
I'm really sorry for how this went down. Honestly, I should have predicted the fact that taking the PoE 1 team off PoE 1 would lead to this outcome.
Shocking. How can you not predict this? How?
And I probably should have resisted doing it. But at every stage, I just kept thinking, we still have time, we still have time. And then we didn't have time anymore. Now, we still have a lot to learn about how to run 2 games simultaneously. We were overconfident. We still need to work out how to structure our
Overconfidence
studio
is a
to make this
slow and
possible.
insidious killer.
But we do have a solid plan for what we want to do with 326. Obviously, I can't talk about it yet, but I'm hoping you guys are going to love it. I really want to thank you guys for all your support over the years. You guys do deserve better than this. And we will get 326 out as fast as we can.
So, TLDR, bad resource management, bad time management. And yeah, the problem is that nobody is actually criticizing them. Everybody's like, oh, thank you for the transparency. Oh, thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you for what? Especially the people that spend thousands and hundreds of dollars on supporter packs, supporting them through the years. Like, what the fuck? Thank you for what? Now, I don't want them to be harassed or anything, right? That's not what I want. I'm just tired of seeing people just eating, you know what I want to say. Okay? So, yeah. I didn't want to make this video, but it is what it is. What do you guys think about the delay? What are you gonna do until then? Leave a comment. Until next time, take care, stay safe.